You've done everything right. You polished your portfolio until it shines. You crafted a profile that perfectly captures your skills, your passion, and your unique value. You've spent hours scrolling through Upwork and Fiverr, writing thoughtful, personalized proposals for jobs you know you can crush. You hit send, and then nothing, just silence. The proposals sit there, unviewed. The profile views flatline. It feels like you're shouting into a void, invisible to the millions of clients supposedly looking for talent just like you. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. For countless aspiring freelancers, these platforms feel like a black box, a digital lottery where a lucky few get all the winning tickets while everyone else is left on the outside wondering what they're doing wrong. But what if I told you it's not a lottery? What if it's a game with a very specific and very predictable set of rules? What if the reason you're not getting hired has almost nothing to do with your talent and everything to do with the fact that no one ever told you how the game is actually played? Today, we're opening that black box. We are going to deconstruct how these platforms really work, from their fundamental business model to the secret logic of their ranking algorithms. This isn't just another video with generic tips. This is the blueprint. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start building a real data-driven strategy, make sure you subscribe to GENSHIFT because we're about to give you the keys to the kingdom. 1. The engine of gig work, two-sided marketplaces explained. To understand the algorithm, you first have to understand the machine it serves. Platforms like Upwork and Fiverr aren't just websites, they are powerful economic engines called two-sided marketplaces. Think about it like Uber connecting drivers and riders, or Airbnb connecting hosts and guests. These platforms don't sell a product themselves. Their entire business is built on creating a digital space where two distinct but interdependent groups, buyers and sellers, can find each other, communicate, and transact with a level of safety and efficiency that would be impossible otherwise. In our world, the buyers are the clients with a problem to solve, and the sellers are the freelancers with the skills to solve it. The value they offer is immense and multifaceted. For clients, it's instant access to a vast global talent pool, transcending geography to find niche skills on demand. Platforms provide the critical infrastructure for this, rating and review systems to vet quality, standardized contracts, and secure payment systems like escrow, which protect them from incomplete or substandard work. For freelancers, the value is equally compelling. These platforms consolidate millions of potential projects into a single searchable feed, dramatically reducing the time and marketing costs that would otherwise be spent on finding work. They provide a structured environment to build a professional reputation and offer us total control over which clients and projects we pursue. But this convenience comes at a price, which is how these platforms make their money. Their primary revenue stream is a commission or service fee on every single transaction that happens on their watch. Fiverr famously takes a straightforward, flat 20% cut from the freelancer on every gig sold, no matter the value. Upwork, on the other hand, employs a more complex sliding scale fee structure. For each new client relationship, Upwork charges the freelancer a steep 20% fee on the first $500 billed. This fee then drops to 10% for lifetime billings with that same client between $500 and $10,000. For any billings that exceed $10,000, the fee is further reduced to just 5%. This isn't random pricing. It's a brilliant strategic defense against the platform's single biggest fear: disintermediation, a fancy word for when a client and freelancer, having been successfully matched, decide to take their ongoing relationship off-platform to avoid paying the fees. This is a direct threat to the platform's entire business model. By front-loading the highest fee, Upwork ensures they get paid for their most valuable service, the initial high-risk introduction. Then, by systematically rewarding long-term high-value relationships with lower fees, they make it far less tempting for a successful pair to leave. The platforms also generate revenue from ancillary streams like premium subscriptions for freelancers and clients, payment processing fees charged to buyers, and paid advertising features like boosted proposals on Upwork or Fiverr ads. But the core operational challenge for any two-sided marketplace is solving the classic chicken and egg problem. To attract a critical mass of clients, a platform must first have a sufficient supply of high-quality freelancers. Conversely, to attract and retain those freelancers, there must be a steady stream of paying clients. This dynamic explains why many platforms initially have very low barriers to entry. They need to build the supply side of the marketplace quickly to make it attractive to the demand side. However, as they've scaled to host millions of users, Upwork has over 18 million registered freelancers. That creates a new massive problem: noise. How does a client find the perfect freelancer in a sea of millions? And how does a platform ensure that the client has a good experience so they come back and spend more money? The answer to both of those questions is the same. They build a gatekeeper. They build an algorithm. 2. The algorithm's rules unlocking the black box of rankings. The algorithm is not your friend. It's not a neutral search engine. It is a tool of algorithmic management, a digital boss whose only job is to orchestrate the workforce, control quality, and achieve the platform's business objectives. Its primary goals are to maximize the number of successful, frictionless transactions and ensure high levels of client satisfaction to encourage repeat business. It does this by constantly watching, rating, and ranking every freelancer based on a predictable set of signals. It decides who gets seen and who stays invisible. To win the game, you have to give this digital boss exactly the data it wants to see. So, what are the rules? While the exact code is a closely guarded secret, we know the key factors that act as the keys to open the gate. First and foremost is client feedback and ratings. A consistent stream of 5-star reviews is the most powerful signal you can send. On Upwork, this feeds into your job success score, JSS, a metric so important that a score below 90% can make your profile nearly invisible to clients. This isn't just a simple average of your public reviews. It's a complex proprietary score that also weighs private client feedback, the value of long-term relationships, and on-time completion rates. Next is reliability and professionalism. The algorithm tracks your job completion rate and your response time with obsessive detail. Do you finish the projects you start? Do you reply to messages quickly? These metrics tell the algorithm if you're a reliable professional or a potential risk to the client's experience. A freelancer who responds in an hour is seen as more engaged and is therefore more valuable to the platform than one who takes a day to reply. Then comes the flywheel: earnings, history, and experience. The algorithm analyzes your past projects and overall history. A track record of successfully completed high-value projects serves as a powerful signal of quality and expertise. This means that past success, particularly higher earnings, biases the algorithm to show that freelancer more high-value opportunities in the future, creating a momentum that is difficult for new entrants to match. Finally, there's profile and gig optimization. The algorithm is a robot. It matches keywords in a client's job post to the keywords in your profile title, summary, and skills section. On Fiverr, this is even more critical. Their algorithm functions much like an e-commerce site, tracking not just keywords, but your gig's click-through rate, CTR, and conversion rate. A compelling gig title, a professional thumbnail image, and a persuasive description aren't just for human buyers. They are essential for optimizing your gig's performance in the eyes of the algorithm. When you put all this together, you get a stark economic reality. Success on these platforms doesn't follow a gentle bell curve with a large middle class of average earners. Instead, it adheres to a well-documented statistical phenomenon known as a power law distribution. This is the Pareto principle, or the 80/20th rule on steroids. It means that a very small percentage of top-performing freelancers, often as little as 10%, captures a disproportionately large share of the total earnings, while a vast majority earns very little in what's called the long tail. This happens because of a process called preferential attachment, or what sociologists call the Matthew effect. For to everyone who has, more will be given. The algorithm is designed to show clients what is already popular and proven to be successful. This creates a self-reinforcing feedback loop where success begets more success, mathematically concentrating opportunities and income at the very top. Your goal isn't to be average. In a power law system, average means you're struggling. Your goal is to understand these rules so you can execute a strategy to break into that vital few at the top. 3. The freelancer's edge: strategies to beat the system. So how do you play this game to win? How do you turn this knowledge of the system into a real, tangible, competitive advantage? It's not about working harder or being more creative in a vacuum. It's about working smarter by deliberately feeding the algorithm the exact signals it is designed to reward. Your first and most critical move is strategic profile building. Stop being a generalist. A profile with a title like graphic designer or writer is competing directly with millions of other profiles on a global scale. In such a crowded field, it is practically impossible to rank for relevant keywords or stand out to the algorithm. This is a losing battle by design. The counter strategy is to niche down aggressively. This involves identifying and claiming a specific, narrow subspecialty. Instead of being a writer, you should become a technical white paper writer for fintech startups. Instead of a graphic designer, you should be a logo and brand identity designer for craft breweries. This strategic positioning dramatically reduces your competition, allows for hyper-targeted keyword optimization in your profile, and signals deep expertise to high-value clients. Next, you have to solve the cold start problem. As we've established, a new profile is an unknown quantity to the algorithm. With no reviews, no earnings history, and no job success score, it is effectively invisible. The most critical hurdle for any new freelancer is to secure the first few projects and, most importantly, the first few 5-star reviews. This initial data is the seed from which all future momentum grows. To achieve this, you must be strategic. This often involves the controversial but necessary tactic of intentionally underpricing your services for the first 1 or 2 projects. This should not be viewed as devaluing your skills, but rather as a calculated marketing expense. The goal of the first job is not to maximize income. It is to acquire a 5-star review and a positive client testimonial. That piece of reputation capital is far more valuable than the small amount of income you forgo. Third, you must master communication and professionalism as a ranking factor. Every interaction on the platform is a data point for the algorithm. Platforms like Upwork and Fiverr track and display your average response time. This metric is a critical signal of reliability and engagement. You should aim to respond to every client message within a few hours, if not sooner. Furthermore, the quality of your communication throughout a project is a primary driver of client ratings. Write clear proposals, ask clarifying questions, provide regular updates, and be proactive. Any friction or confusion is a potential reason for a sub-5-star review, which can be devastating to your algorithmic standing. And of course, delivering work on time every single time is non-negotiable. On-time delivery is a core metric for the algorithms on both platforms. Finally, put it all together to build the flywheel. This is the compounding effect of success. Each successfully completed project that results in a 5-star review makes your profile marginally more credible and visible to the algorithm. This increased visibility leads to more and often better job invitations. Securing these better jobs leads to higher earnings and more impressive portfolio pieces, which in turn further boost your profile's algorithmic score. This creates a virtuous cycle where success feeds on itself, accelerating your journey out of the long tail and into the high-earning head of the power law curve. Conclusion. So, let's be clear. The frustration you felt on platforms like Upwork and Fiverr is real, but it's not because the system is random or unfair. It's because it operates on a set of cold, hard, predictable rules that were never properly explained to you. Success isn't about being the most talented person in the room. It's about understanding that you're operating within a system, a two-sided marketplace run by an algorithm that prioritizes reliability, positive feedback, and a proven history of success. Success isn't about being the most talented person in the room. It's about understanding that you're operating within a system, a two-sided marketplace run by an algorithm that prioritizes reliability, positive feedback, and a proven history of success. This knowledge is your power. It transforms the experience from a frustrating game of chance into a solvable strategic challenge. You now have the blueprint. You understand the rules of the game. The only question left is, are you ready to play by them and start building your career with intention? Let us know in the comments below. What's the one thing you're going to change about your profile or strategy after watching this? And for more deep dives that give you the strategic intelligence to master the future of work, make sure you subscribe to GENSHIFT. Thanks for watching.